color worksheet. Fill in each object below with its correct color. Oh, the children actually did this. I'd also be curious to hear if you actually picked up on this, because I only noticed it during the edit. This is probably intentional. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Blueprints Day 17. The goal for today, I would say, stays the same. We'll try to get to the antechamber. We'll pick up the microchip here first. Yet another thing we have to pick up every day. And we'll get the allowance. And we'll check out Westgate room options. Then we'll try to gather some resources, get to the greenhouse, get the broken lever, get to the antechamber. Okay, what do we have here? Schoolhouse. What? Adds 8. The way we still get new rooms here outside, this must be super rare. We have to go to schoolhouse. Hello. Isn't that for ink and that for your fountain pen? I think that's what this is for, right? We used to still have that in our schoolrooms, like in the early classes, but Herbie. Oh, this is Herbie's desk. Oh, that's cute. So they had their own private schoolroom here. Uh-huh. I've never had a belt for my books, but you see that in like older places, no? Oh. What? The third flame? Just for free? No way. We already did more today than we did yesterday. Okay. That's this little heating oven. Where's that light coming from? Alright. Let's see what we have here. Closing address. For the last 38 years, it has been my pleasure of serving as your schoolmaster in this humble little facility, and meager as it may look by modern standards, I think most of us who spend our afternoons here will readily admit that we are reluctant to see this small piece of Reddington history go. I first wish to thank Lady Epson, our most gracious host today, for not only paying attention in my classes those many years ago, but for all the fundraising she has done on behalf of our community and our children. Without her, Reddington Elementary would still be a distant, blurry vision, a vision that I dared not even dream. The dreamer is, of course, the incomparable Miss Patterson. Our future principal and my reluctant successor, who I might add, forced me to give this speech, so I think I'll lend my praise of her there, though she deserves much more, I'll admit. To the architect of our new school, the Baron Sinclair, thank you for following in your father's footsteps in building Reddington yet another school, and for also allowing the use of your own private residence and floor plans to serve as our interim facility, until the new campus is completed in March, a decision I'm certain he will immediately regret tomorrow morning when he hears the children running through his halls. And lastly, I wish to thank all my students, many of you here today, whom I have not seen in years, whose faces I still remember as young and manners wild. Those here whose parents before them I have also taught, and whose children I may yet. Without you I would have had a lifetime of quiet peace, and yet what is all the peace in the world if you have no one to bestow demerits upon? Thank you all sincerely. My time here has meant the world to me, and if I am still standing in 8 months, I will see you all at the slightly less melancholic ribbon-cutting ceremony next year. Ah, that's when the school opens. Better joke to end, so this is a draft. Remember to give Miss Peterson her gifts. Yeah, you need to write down all these important events that you want to do during a speech. You need to write all of that down, otherwise you're going to forget. Even if you think, oh, I'm not going to forget the gift, of course you are. Like, people are going to start clapping, you're going to be like, yeah, thank you for clapping, and you're going to forget. We got that down, so we should have more schoolrooms in the house now, if I've understood this floor plan Adds 8 classrooms to today's draft pool. 8 class... Oh, so ideally we want to get all 8 today. Can we flip this? No? No flipping? Okay, usually you can flip these around and throw on the backside, right? That would be quite interesting. If you could flip this. I don't see how. I don't see any contraption anywhere to flip. Why is there a light here? Okay, I think that's it. We have a third flame already, pretty cool. Let's go and find classrooms. I guess that's the goal now. It immediately changed. As always, I say, let's do this, and then 1 minute later, okay, let's do something else. We do, however, continue on the left side to try to get the greenhouse. And we do start with the parlor. I like starting with the parlor. Gems are not in the white box or the blue box, which means it would be in the black. Gems are in both the blue box and the black, so that's definitely false. Gems are in both the black box, so that's also false. Okay. Well, we can't deduct anything from these two except that this is true. Gems are not in the white box or the blue box, so it's have to be in here. Okay. Here, straight, left. Should we do bedroom? Let's do bedroom. But then we have to go right. Ah, that's good. Extra money, interest. Okay, here, preferably right. So I think we'll do pantry to get a bit of early money in. Or the library for the drafting book. We could do library, come on. We want to read the book. Oh, and the gem here. That's good. Kimberly Thompson, that's the lab technician assistant. And the one who sent off the mail. Volume 3. June issue. The Potential Within. Let's see how many pages. Ooh. That's going to be a good house. A good book. Okay, I'm curious now. The Potential Within. We all start as an empty floor plan. To the ambitious young architect, a fresh blueprint represents a world of boundless possibilities. When you are staring at a blank canvas, you have unlimited potential and ideas to explore. But with an abundance of options at your disposal, the architect can also become overwhelmed by the countless choices and decisions that need to be made. Should I draft a hallway or a closet? How many bedrooms do I need in my house? Is passageway really worth 2 gems? All these questions can compound, adding layers of complexity and stress to the design process. That's why it's even more important to develop simple and effective strategies that you can employ while drafting your house to ensure a successful project outcome. In this volume of Architectural Digest, we aim to provide architects with some of those strategies and even assist them in developing their own. Gems, gems, gems. Every architect needs them. Although many architects employ different strategies when developing the house designs, most of them agree on one guiding principles: have gems while drafting. One of the most common ways architects draft themselves into a corner is by not having the resources they need when opening a new door, like yesterday. If you lack the gems to consider all 3 presented options, you may be forced to draft a room you do not want. To avoid this predicament, focus on drafting rooms that grant you gems and prioritize acquiring gems as early in the day as you can. That's why I go for the parlor. This approach is a surefire way to set yourself up for success. Reader submitted gem strats. Make sure you check for gems in the room you are in before checking the door. I do this way too much. Think about saving some gems for emergencies. I try to only spend them if I really need a room. I will never draft passageway on the first 5 ranks. It's a simple strat that has served me well. Passageway is with all side doors. Okay. Yeah, no, definitely. I would not use that early. If you see gems for sale in any of the shops, buy them out. Don't pass up wine cellar even if you're not thirsty. There's no such thing as too many gems. I may have a bit of a problem. A drinking one. Only spend... So that's probably what we should do. We shouldn't spend gems if we don't need to. I tend to probably sometimes buy the den, even though I know that's actually free. But sometimes they do get rooms that cost gems, I think, that I shouldn't. Passageway is obvious. We should buy more gems, and we should always buy get the wine cellar, which we've only had the option to once, I think. When you begin drafting a house, it's important to start each day with a solid foundation. Draft early ranks first, yeah, because otherwise you run out of keys. If we ever get the chance to increase wine cellar in the conservatory, we will make that a pretty common room probably then. A very common mistake beginners make is drafting in a straight line north and ignoring the many unopened doors they have left behind in the entrance hall and rooms of the early ranks. When these architects reach the higher ranks, they quickly discover they do not have enough keys or gems to continue. Their day usually ends by returning to lower ranks to draft from the doors they skipped, only to find rooms and items that would have made all the difference if they had only been found earlier in the day. As the layout to the right demonstrates, even a path of rooms that snakes through the house and does not go in a straight line can also be structurally weak if you are leaving lots of unopened doors on the ranks behind you. It has a lot of unopened doors. By starting each day on a strong foundation of rooms on the early ranks, you will have a much better chance of finding success when you eventually start heading further into the house. So maybe we will, instead of going too far, we might only get to rank 3 maybe, and then draft dead ends on rank 3, 4, and then continue pushing onwards here. That basically locks us off from one side of the entrance hall, but leaves us 2 options open to continue, as long as we don't block the middle one, the middle path. Top drafting combos. Another aspect to consider when planning your house is the order in which you draft rooms. For instance, if you draft cloister before terrace, you will be down 3 gems. But if you draft them in the reverse order, cloister would be free. Yeah, you're right. Identifying a synergistic pair of floor plans is an essential first step, but determining the optimal order for drafting those rooms will provide you with an additional advantage, significantly improving your chance of success. Yeah, okay, so terrace is actually pretty good if we can draft that early. I was aware of that, but I never actually employed the strategy. Other floor plan combos. A foyer drafted before a great hall would mean that all of its many doors would be unlocked. Oh, that's what that means. Oh, that's good. We've just never had a foyer. I don't know where to get that from. Maybe we need to unlock that from the drafting studio. Nursery. Drafting bunk room after nursery will give you 10 extra steps because it counts as 2 separate bedroom triggers. Yeah, I see. You won't have to backtrack constantly to collect your gold spread from office if you draft a conference room. Yeah, I also don't know, because the secret garden spreads apples and fruits, right? Does that get collected in the conference room as well? I don't know. It doesn't, well, the secret garden doesn't have a blueprint image, right? So we don't know if it actually would say whether it spreads fruit, but if it would have an image, I would expect it to say that it spreads fruit, probably. Attic. The more items you have, the greater your chances of being able to create a contraption in workshop. Yeah, we had that in the episode before last, I think. The attic is really useful for that. Making a connection. What the heck? This is what we want to get to, the ladyship chamber. That looks pretty purple. Because purple, in my opinion, is also quite a lady color. The next time you enter boudoir, gain 10 steps. The next time you enter walk-in closet, yeah, walk-in closet is her closet, gain 3 gems. 2-pair combos aren't the only form of room synergy. You will find some floor plans only work by drafting other specific rooms. These rooms aren't powerful on their own, but can become very useful when their connectivity is eventually discovered. The utility closet is a perfect example of this. It doesn't do anything by itself, but it can literally power up or down other rooms you have drafted in your house. I mean, that's very obvious here. I think there was a fourth thing that they don't mention here. I forgot. Maybe it's just a broken button that we are not able to use. The closet, right? I don't even know what the closet is. No, not the closet. What was it called? Cabinet. The cabinet button, but it's broken. One of the more simple examples, her ladyship's chamber, has synergy with Lady Epson's other two rooms, her boudoir and her walk-in closet. Boiler room connects ducts from room to room to run steam power to specific destinations in the house. Laboratory, garage, laundry room, furnace, and pump room all have uses for steam power. Let's write that down. Boiler, furnace, garage? The garage has a use? Laundry room, furnace, pump room. Yeah, pump room, I think that unlocks the reservoir container, not the reservoir itself, but there's a container in the room that probably gets unlocked. The pump room. Speaking of pump room, this room controls the water level throughout rooms in the estate and can interact directly with the pool. We did that. Aquarium, we did that. Greenhouse, well, I think that's the water that drizzles down from the ceiling. I don't know what that does. Maybe that just causes the flowers to grow. And the kitchen and several other features located outside of the main house. The kitchen, my current guess is that we can fill up the water can in the sink. Not verified though. Tips and tricks. In the kitchen, you can check which course is being served in the dining room that day. This will allow you the opportunity to draft specific rooms that will make the meal even more delicious. Besides counting as 2 bedrooms, bunk room also counts as 2 rooms. This will increase the amount of steps granted by master bedroom. So master bedroom gives us steps based on how many purple rooms we have. The amount of gold spread by tomb and the amount of keys found in a servant's quarters. Yeah. Each time you solve a puzzle in billiard room or parlor, the difficulty will increase slightly the next time you draft that room. I wonder what happens when you reach the difficulty ceiling, because there isn't an infinite number of puzzles, right? Just because you didn't find any items in a room when you first explored it doesn't mean that will be the case the next time you draft it. The day after drafting freezer, it enters an automated cooldown refreezing cycle during which it cannot be drafted for the next 24 hours. Okay. Why is that? What design decision is behind that? Oh, no, okay, I understand. That is done because it freezes your accounts, right? Otherwise, you can keep freezing your accounts every single day and you can compound your currencies. Whereas if it is on a cooldown for one day, you will for sure lose all currency the next day. That's why this is here. If you're stuck or don't know what to do in a specific room, sometimes it is smart to move on. There are simple ways to solve many of the challenges you will come across, and there is a very good chance you will find a piece of information down the road which may help. When in doubt, draft rooms you have never seen before. Yep. Even if you do not think the room seems very useful, they may still hold useful clues and information that may help you on your journey. Word from the editor. Although with this volume, we have provided our readers with many potential strategies and tricks to try. We here at Architectural Digest hope that aspiring architects know that there truly is no set blueprint for success. Forging your own path and coming up with your own unique strategies will, in our humble opinion, always provide the best results. Each architect has his own favorite room, each builder his own favorite tool, and thus each player in turn will develop their own style of play and discover their own secrets and tricks that they can share with the world or keep to themselves. Well, you get to see anything anyways. Whatever strategy you employ, we wish you best of luck drafting and hope you build the house of your dreams. Well, I just hope we get to room 46 at some point, because I did not expect this to be that long of a journey, to be honest. All right, Drafting Strategies Volume 2. No, not Volume 2. What was it, Volume 3 or something? Yeah, Volume 3. I wonder if these little notes here were details given by playtesters. Because that would be cool. Like, you let someone playtest the game for like 30, 40 hours, and then you ask them about tips that they would give aspiring players. or architects, and then you add the best ones here. That would be a pretty interesting detail. The question is if they would give you good clues or if they would spoil too much. You would need to really filter or triage the statements to make sure you put in exactly what you want, of course. And playtesting a game like this takes a ton of time. In my game, I've already done about 30 playtests, and the longest one took 7 hours as of now. The game is not finished, so it'll be way longer in the end. But it's already way longer than I thought it would be, but apparently some of the puzzles are pretty difficult, so some people take a bit longer. Not everybody. Some people are pretty quick. And then every time you implement something you saw in a playthrough that you didn't like, you implement that, you have to do another playtest to verify whether the change was actually pushing the experience in the right direction. And then you realize it didn't. So you basically implemented something in the wrong direction, so you have to go back and fix it again and then do yet another playtest. It's a never-ending story. And at some point, you just have to call it a day and release the game, even though there are things you don't like. But, you know, we all die at some point, and maybe you want to create a second game at some point, right? So you can't spend your entire lifetime on one game. All right. Oh. E. If we count small gates, 8 dates unlock 8. Yeah, okay. That's just a hint. Okay. The library seems to be very common down here, I feel like. I don't know. All right, here we could get the bookshelf, which I would probably use if we get it. No, the book, what is it called? Oh. I'm definitely not going to go for ballroom because we have a lot of gems, but I do want to see the classroom. Heck yeah. While drafting in classroom, you may draw new floor plans one time for each. That's like, what is this? A special room. The drawing room has this as well. For each thingy room in your house. Well, I only have one, the classroom. But we have to look at that. Elemental P, Q, R, S, T, U, V. Okay, all the letters are present. Grade 1. Are there different grades? Colors. That's the American spelling, right? The British one's right with a U here. Blue, green, yellow, orange, red, violet. Yes, that's the color wheel, I guess. Oh. Oh, there's a lot of stuff to look at. Okay. Different colored pots. Empty canvas. That's a cabinet, no? Cabinet. Oh, in the... Oh, that... Maybe in the breaker closet room, breaker box, it had the broken button for closet. Maybe that's what they mean by closet. Is that a closet? In some languages, a closet is also a bathroom. The washing closet, right? Closet. So for most people, that is an accessible wardrobe, it seems. At least what Google believes. Maybe it's the walk-in wardrobe? I thought maybe it's tied to the aquarium, because the aquarium points to the bottom of the closet, right? So I thought maybe that's linked, but it appears not to be the case. Name, color worksheet. Fill in each object below with its correct color. These are the 3 areas. My favorite color is... That could be a blueprint, but that's also blue. That's probably orange. That's red, right? Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 4, 5, 6. Each color is used approximately twice. Okay, let's try. Let's see if we can solve this. So, how do we do this? Do we have an opacity here? No. Okay, anyways, the banana is yellow, right? Then we have a purple grapes. We have orange Pumpkin. I would say the broccoli is definitely green. Then the fire hydrant. Is that what you call it in English? So it's probably red, right? Then this guy is also green, I would say. Then this I would say is blue, the lake. It's usually pretty bright. Okay, we've seen this in the attic, no? Didn't we see exactly this in the attic? I have to go back in the recording to see. And then we have the 3 areas. These are the 3 areas that all are called like Aleya or something. But were they associated with color? I know that there was the red place. Oh no. They made the blueprints blue because none of the realms were associated with blue, right? So the blueprints should definitely be blue, I would say. I would expect at least. Right? Or not? Okay. And I think this was red, no? Yeah, that's that one. Yeah, it looks slightly different. Does it? This looks very boxy, not round at all, with a boxy handle. Whereas this has a lot of round features, but could be the same, I guess. Not sure. Okay, that leaves us with the 3 areas, north, middle, and south. And we have them in our document in the history of Orindia. Where was that? There's so much stuff. And Word is so slow to load everything. Oh, it was here. It was actually quite long ago. Okay, so we know that this is north, this is south. The Arch Aries. Storm. Iraja is south. But we don't know the colors. The black flags that had flown for 5 eras. Do we even have black as an option? No. The black flags that had flown for 5 eras were burned, and in their place red banners were hoisted in honor of the fallen of Fen. The few remaining members of the former royal family fled in fear of their lives to the south. It's not clear to me, the exact coloring. These are probably like ship routes or something. Okay, 8 is twisted, but why does it go to 10? Usually these only go to... Like, usually numbers start at 0, go to 9. It's a bit funky. Oh. Oh, the children actually did this. Color worksheet. Archie. Oh, we can... Okay. So 2 are wrong. That's wrong. Okay, we can probably deduce what's correct. 3 are wrong. That's wrong. That's wrong. Is that yellow or orange? That's yellow, right? So one of these 3 is wrong. And here, this is orange, right? So one of these, so yellow, purple, orange. Yellow, purple, orange. Yellow, purple, orange. Yellow, purple, orange. So that is very likely yellow, I would say. Very likely yellow. Let's mark that. Maybe a bit more beautiful like that. I don't know. Benny, B+. Each color is only used twice. Uh-huh. So that's definitely not blue. Yeah, okay. So these are the two mistakes. So that means that is purple and that is orange. Yeah, his favorite color is red. That's why he draws everything red. So this is purple and this is orange, maybe. Okay. We'll validate against the beginning quickly again. Okay, so if this is purple and this is orange, that means this would be correct. This looks like orange to me, but might be wrong. Well, she wrote to Benny that every color is only used twice. So if this is orange, then orange would be used twice. So I would expect her to write the same comment here. So this is probably not orange and yellow instead. And then these two are the mistakes. They swapped. And then here, 3 mistakes. That's a mistake. That's a mistake. And that's a mistake. That is orange. Orange is correct. Got only 2 correct. So none of them are red. That's basically what we can deduct from this. Did you even grade him? Didn't even provide a grade. Caleb is the special one. He does not need a grade. Okay, so I guess that's my answer to this test. So the main takeaway is the colors of the houses. I don't really care about the rest, right? This is just to figure it out. So we have yellow, orange, and purple. I don't think this one was necessary here. We could have done it without this one. Maybe I'm wrong. Can you find the difference? Classroom puzzle. Okay. This is a bit funny here, but I guess we're good. Left would be good here. So maybe we'll go for a den. Or maybe we'll go for a nursery, actually. To cut this off. Gives us a lot of step, potentially. Or we could redraw and hope for a left axis. Although nursery is pretty good. Should we go for a nursery? So it's a dead end, so it's out of the way as well. It costs a gem. It costs a gem. We said we would not do that if it costs a gem. Maybe we'll go for the den, but then go back. Maybe we'll do that. I shouldn't spend gems if I don't need to. Okay. I'd say we're going back then, and we'll continue on from here. Is that an idea? I think that's an idea. All right. Should we do here first, see what the options are? Here, either straight or left. Should we do spare room? No. I like spare room to push north. So maybe hallway closet. And then here we really need options now. Which, you know, we're not really getting. But we could do pantry. And then here we want to go leftish mostly. We could do chapel, which is probably a good option. And then we will try not to go back here. We will try to go back through the foundation. Let's do that. And in case we need money, we'll check out this little pig here. Okay, here, straight, right. Let's go spare room. Okay, now we want to loop around and try to fill out the back while keeping our options open. Maybe nook? Let's go for nook. And then we want to go straight right. Okay, maybe we'll go commissary then. I don't want to use the die. So let's go commissary and see if we can buy something nice. If there is great stuff to buy here, we might actually go back and smash the pig. Salt shaker is always good. Let's get the salt shaker. The compass is good, but you don't always want to go north, so it also can really screw you up. Okay. Here we want to go as many directions as possible. Wow. So conservatory probably. I would like to get the greenhouse as well. Oh, oh, now we do. Well, now we really need the greenhouse. Rooms with 4 doors are more common. I don't know if I like that. That's a key. That's good. I have to remember these constellations so that I can prevent drafting the wrong ones. Yeah, that's 1 gold. That's okay too. That's pretty good. That's good. This one... Because a lot of the red rooms have 4 doors, so this also increases the likelihood of getting red rooms. Apples are cool. Key is very good. I like the key one. Gems are great. Dead end rooms are more common today. Don't really like the Draxus, the dead. It has no connections, so every star is a dead end. If you look at it like a graph, each star has a lot of connections, but here none of the stars have connections, so that's why this is the dead end thing. Everything is 50% off. Green rooms are more likely to contain special flowers today. That's pretty cool. So you also get this in the end. This basically increases the gems we get. Okay. I mean, none of them are terrible. Where do we even want to go? Oh, the Great Hall. Costs a lot of doors though. Should we go for drawing room? The passageway. I agree that the passageway shouldn't be used early on, but we do need to kind of get here to get the greenhouse now. Okay, let's get the drawing room. I don't want to use my keys. I like how we have carpet here that makes the sound very soft of our footsteps. Okay, we want to go... yeah. We have no other option. Well, we could go through the foundation, but... I'm inclined to redraw. Corridor? Probably. So if there's classrooms added to the draft pool, why are we never getting any? Okay, now we have to probably go for passageway because we're running out of space. And we're likely going to encounter security rooms soon. Now I want the greenhouse. Okay, that's a problem. I could go for the office and check the safe, but that will make us lose all the gems, so I'm more inclined to go hallway, but not enter yet. And then what do we get here? Here we want to get access to the antechamber through here, or we want to go down to find the ladies' chamber. Okay, I don't want to spend that key yet. Here I want to find the greenhouse. Okay, the attic is of course great, but we don't have 3 gems. So we have to probably use... the courtyard is also great, but that takes away a gem, and for the greenhouse we need a gem. Probably gonna go for the gym, to be honest. Takes a couple of steps, I'm aware of that. Come on, greenhouse. That's terrible. That means... that's so annoying. Come on. Okay, so we have to go through the hallway then. I don't want to go all the way back to the foundation. Here we want to go right. Here we want to go right too. Or we just get the storeroom, which gives us a key. And the gem. Which is good. I don't want to go here. I would like to get the greenhouse since we have the lever. So we're going to push on here. Trying to get the greenhouse. Nope. Then maybe we'll get the security and unlock all... like, increase the... oh no, wait. The security is only helpful if we also get a breaker box. Maybe the... this room counts as 2 bedrooms. Maybe we'll get the East Wing Hall and see what the option is at the top. I hope it's not locked. Can it be locked? Yeah, it can be locked. Hopefully it's not locked. We don't have the card, right? Nope. That means, since everything is locked now... we have to go back to the foundation. It's the only thing left to do. There's nothing in here. There's nothing to buy here for $2. Oh, keys are such a pain. We somehow need a permanent key. A P upgrade, no, key upgrade. To have to start with keys somehow. That's a thing. I probably also shouldn't have drafted this closet here. That was a really bad choice. Shouldn't have done that. Wow. Wow. That's so frustrating. Oh, they have a red flag here. I only just saw that. So we don't do this here in Switzerland, but many countries have an obsession with patriotism. And they put their country's flag or even their president or their king or whatever picture in the classroom, because you want to definitely indoctrinate and compel children early on, right? So that they really identify with your flag and that they kind of have an aversion to everything else. So you put that into the schoolrooms to really hammer it into their brains. So I'm really happy we don't do this here. That would kind of make me dislike my country a little bit. Hey, I decided to hop in here quickly because during edit I had some more thoughts on the whole coloring situation in the schoolroom and the exercise that the kids were doing. So what we can get from this scene specifically is that the school clearly has a red flag in their schoolrooms, which means that the government who funds these schools is clearly associated with the red flag, right? And I don't remember exactly which country in this game was the red flag. We'll figure it out eventually again. We know that some realms fell and other rose, and this looks like a modern schoolroom, so this must be a more modern, maybe even still standing realm, right? I don't exactly remember. We'll get there. Anyways, so this schoolroom is clearly funded by the government, which carries the red flag. And as I said, this will transfer onto the children, which is also the task of the teachers to get those values of the country into the children, right? Even if it might not be completely ethical, the children must identify with this red flag. And we know that this has already proven to work in this specific classroom with these specific kids, because all of them, or most of them, name red as their favorite color. So they have a very strong association with the color red. As we can see here, Archie's favorite color is red. And then Freddy's color here is red as well. It's like when you ask young boys, what's your favorite color? All of their favorite color is blue. Now, I don't think necessarily that's because of governments. I think that's just because of toys and how generally toys indoctrinate the color blue for boys and the color pink for girls. Maybe also parents. Not entirely sure about that one. I didn't really think about this enough. And then here, Benny, obviously favorite color is red. Benny decided to mark 3 items as red. Clearly, he wasn't really sure maybe about the lizard, so he made them red because that's his default choice. And then here we have Caleb, and the teacher says, you must really like red. Yeah, obviously, that's how this person grew up, this kid. Favorite color is red, and in fact, they will not even use any other color. They have such a strong association with red that they refuse to use any other color. Oh, and not to mention, of course, that of all the objects that this kid chose to paint red, they obviously chose the 2 correct ones, the little wagon and the fire hydrant, but they also specifically chose all nations. Whether they are red or not, they want to unify all the nations under the red flag, which is something you often see in many countries right now when they try to take over territory to unify everything under their flag. And red, generally, if you have red in your flag, that is often considered an aggressive color. Like nations with red in their flag are considered more aggressive colors. Now, whether that is true or not, up for interpretation. Switzerland also has a very red flag, but we are known as a very neutral country, so I'm not too sure whether that's true. But being neutral is also a matter of perspective, right? Everyone draws the line somewhere else. So I guess that's up for everyone to decide what exactly that means, what neutral means, and what red means. So these are my current thoughts on the topic. I would be curious to hear if you think this is just my interpretation or if you think this is actually what Tonda Ross, the designer of the game, intended. And I'd also be curious to hear if you actually picked up on this, because I only noticed it during the edit. I mean, I did hint at it during gameplay, but it took me like a minute afterwards to truly realize that this is probably intentional. Let me know what you think. Yeah, someone in the comments mentioned that we can build a contraption, and I'm assuming we can break through this with that contraption that they mentioned. I forgot what the exact combination is, but once we get to the workshop again, I'll check it out. I don't want to go in there. That is the most useless dead end so far. Basically like, well, not even less useful than the spare room. The prophecy mentioned that the door would open, but not by me. I don't expect that to have happened now. No. Someone will at some point open this. And it won't be me. There's nothing in these, right? Yeah, no, there's nothing in here. We are only missing one more flame, which I believe could be in the freezer, in that back door, because those pipes in the freezer, they look very much like... oh, that's persistent now, that stays here, okay. The freezer pipes look very much like the pipes for the flame. Alright, I think we'll call it a day here. I don't think there's anything... This is locked. Security door. Yeah, we'll call it a day here. So today we did get the schoolhouse for the first time. We lit the third flame. And we have a classroom which taught us something about colors. Aside from that, today wasn't very exciting. Maybe tomorrow will be better. Have a great rest of the day. Until next time, take care. If you've enjoyed the series so far, feel free to leave a like at the bottom. And if you don't want to miss any future episodes of the series, then be sure to subscribe and enable the bell. Take care.